Okay, guys, we are live! So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I'll be your friendly referee today, because today we are carrying on with our ongoing campaign, playing Mongoose Publishing's outstanding Traveler science fiction role-playing game, 2nd edition. And we are playing through a modified version of their very cool module, the Borderland Run, Reach 5. And with me today are the stars of the Borderland Run campaign. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing. First up, we've got James.
Hi, I'm James, playing Captain Gani, co-owner of the Rift Wanderer.
Very nice. Next up is Graham.
Hi, I'm Graham. I'm playing Dane Loverick, a former Imperial Marine.
Nice. Next up is David.
Hi everyone, I'm David and I'm playing Dr. Elias Abdel, co-owner of the Rift Wanderer and a physician who wishes he had a bit more data points before jumping into all of these exciting adventures.
Nice. Next up is Jeffrey.
Hey everybody, I'm Jeff, and I'm playing Alonzo Santoro. He is a journalist and adventure seeker.
Nice. And the last, but certainly not least, is Carl.
Hello, I'm Carl, and I'm playing Anchor Gavel, who is an Imperial Vargar ex-Imperial Navy.
Very
Vargars
nice.
are uplifted canines.
Yes. So this is part 19 of our campaign, guys. And last time saw you... Oh, god dang it. Last time... I tried to pop your video out by accident, Jeff. Saw you on the planet of Hilfer. And what do you guys recall? This is our 3rd session on Hilfer, I believe. Now, 3rd or 4th? Maybe 4th. In any event, it's we've been on Hilfer for a little bit. Last time saw some revelations and some consequential decisions being made. Hilfer, just as context, was intended on being a quick stopover. It is, as far as the Travelers Aid Society guidelines tell you, a very primitive desert planet where the only interesting stuff might happen at the high port. And unfortunately, due to some industrial action or political chicanery, you guys were forced to come down to the surface. And then, well, what happened then, guys?
Things got interesting.
Yeah. We tried to do some shopping, and basically Alonzo got identified as a crappy psychic. And so we went and met the ruler of the intercessor, and learned a lot from them, and were given a mission to bring a message to the Pirate King on Drinax, as well as opportunity for
that's just scandalous. Now, King Oleb may have a number of titles, and I'm happy to go through all of them again if you choose. But Pirate King.
Oh, sorry. He's a very respectable king.
Very. I mean, I wouldn't go that far. But
and in the meantime, the captain and crew who were out at a bar were approached about taking someone off-world. And so after our meeting, we looked into that more, and we learned that there had been a kidnapping on planet, and involving one of the clans, the dueling clans on the planet. Let's see if we can find their names. I don't remember their name.
Ganzerig's
Someone else knows. There you go. Oh yeah, Ganzerig. And the daughter of their leader was kidnapped, and we believe that these men may have been involved after a bunch of computer research. So then we decided that we would intercede in this kidnapping, and so we've done a bunch of computer hacking and learned of their location and their movements, and we were just putting a plan together to enact some kind of action here, and Dane had decided that we should let our friend, what's his name again? Ilatora know that we are basically potentially doing some kind of a military action on planet. Ilatora, there he is. And that's where we're at.
Yeah. So
we did find out what the deal was. It was nuclear, or it was something like that, right? It was uranium or something, or plutonium. I can't remember exactly the details, but it was extremely profitable.
Yes, it's I think so partially to apologize to you and to give us a good reason for traveling to Drenax. The intercessor made it so that we were offered a deal that we would not normally have access to at rates that are just scandalously in our favor, to the point where I think our designated liaison thought we were smugglers and breaking the law. It was just too good a deal. And we were like, we shouldn't tell you this, but we met your leader and it's okay, just trust us.
Yeah, we did kind of have to let her in on it a little bit because, she was very suspicious.
Although she was actually from the Firedog faction as well, so she was able to give you some additional insight. And I believe that we saw Alonzo in his most sleuthy, the most Fletch-like, if you will, that he was as far as investigative journalists go. Remember, you snuck into to access.
Oh, that's right. Some of the information we got was actually espionage. I had to sneak into that facility to get the. What was it? Was it a rental place?
It was one of the places where the designated liaisons register their purchases and register the purchases through whoever the off-world visitors are.
Right.
Because you guys were using that to track down who was the one who was responsible for the it wasn't Firedog. It was the Ganservik's Horde, wasn't it? Ganservik's Horde was her. Firedog faction is the one that seems to be making
involved in the kidnapping.
Right. But anyway, maybe because they were their intercessor, the intercessor dealing with those two travelers, they were from Firedog faction.
Right, and we also learned that there was some shady business to get the fire dogs in charge of them while they were here.
Yes.
Which sort of confirmed that they were involved in this.
Yeah. And that's what led you to effectively the sci-fi equivalent of breaking into a budget rent-a-car.
Yeah.
So you got that cargo thing that you checked the GPS in it, and were able to find a place in a not an allied, not in Firedog territory, but in one of the rival tribes, or clans, that's in the what do you call it? In the deserts of Hilfer.
Right, and then we rented that actual van.
Yes. Yeah. It is not going to make it out to the 3,000 kilometers quickly to get out there, but there was talk of using a faster alternative.
Yeah.
So I think that is Anchor. That's what you have missed last time, was that they were able to track down who Carl, did you miss one session or two sessions?
Just one.
Just one. Okay, so you were here when you guys decided to try and do something about this girl. That's what they found last time, was that they've confirmed who seems to be behind it. They've tracked down where they think this person is. It's an old through a subsidiary, but it was an old research facility by GDCO. GDCO, we're behind everything. And it's in a rival, and I don't know if we talked about what the rival faction was, or not the rival, the lesser tribe. They are the Sun Sinners.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember that name,
No.
but
So where we left off was some action items of talking to Tila Toril before he to see if he might be joining Dane in this. Dane, do you have anything to add? You did a lot of talking at the end of last session.
No, I think that probably summarizes it reasonably well. We talked about taking the ship into a closer proximity to the base, just to speed up our arrival there. The ship being able to transfer much more quickly, and after some discussion, it was felt that actually was a reasonable. I think that we decided that was a reasonable option. There was some concern that as we leave, it would provoke some, disquiet and raise our profile too high. But I think we decided it was okay to do it. I think there was a lot of talk about the sort of finer points of the political process that was happening here and what was underpinning the extraction of the girl and her use. And I think that was the point that Dane learnt that some of his inner thoughts should probably stay inside. I'm going to leave it there.
It's a lot easier when someone else is just pointing you at a direction and they just go onto this planet and eliminate anything you see there. When you're having to take on and consider the externalities of those actions, gets a little more complicated.
I think Dane's just become used to the iniquities of the imperial system and the way that it disenfranchises and acts without too much moral qualm. And sadly, a lot of that is infused into his being, which he's realised perhaps not to his complete surprise, isn't entirely shared by the rest of the crew.
So then, the reason was that we were a little late starting was just some tech issues, but the reason I wanted to make sure that we heard you and saw you, Graham, is because I was thinking we'd start with you arriving back on ship and having that conversation with Tila Toril. But if there's something else you guys wish to start with first or deal with before you return back to your actual ship, I'm happy to deal with that too. Nada. Then
Nothing that I can think of.
Go ahead.
They have newsreels or newspapers here.
Do they have, sorry?
Newspapers, newsreels, some sort of...
Yeah, it would be sort of the equivalent of like high-traffic blogs, I imagine. And then the TAS also is just rife with gossip. Whatever the local equivalent of the message board or the forum or the thread, that would be also a ripe source for local information. I think that's how you guys track down actually I think that might be how you guys got some of the information about the oh no, there was something else you guys said. I was saying the information about the fire dogs kind of celebrating and Ganzarig's horde acting differently. But in any event, that's always a good source to go to. People are always posting shit on there, kind of like intergalactic Yelp, if you will.
I think Dr. Elias will just do some reading because he's still not entirely convinced we have the full picture of what's going on. So just look at any mention of the true the third faction, the True Kings, which have been suspiciously absent in any of the information we found so far. I think he'll just do some background reading.
Okay. So why don't we start with first, why doesn't everyone give us a D6 roll? And let's see how much luck you guys have to play with today.
We got to do better than last time.
Last time was fun. Okay.
Oh, way better.
Pretty good. There you go. So wow. Pretty good, guys. All right.
Might need it.
Enjoy it. Those are the last good rolls we'll see tonight.
Wow.
Let's see here. I don't want to jinx it, but Jeff was really on fire on Friday night with Savage Pathfinder.
Yeah, that's true.
Normally, Roll20 treats him. I don't know what he did to it when he's off camera, but it was real. Normally treats him like he, killed their favorite pet. right, so I think it is, investigate. So, and are you picturing this to being something like as everyone else is doing their planning and as everyone else is doing their investigating, that's what you've been snooping into?
Yeah, I think as Dane sets off to talk to Tilatoril, I will sort of have most an idea of what we want to do. I think Dr. Elias will just, as he would do before surgery, before any procedure, just go over the notes one more time. Yeah. See if there are things that don't quite add up. Or if
left arm we're removing. The right left arm. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Just reading this thing backwards. I don't know. So then, would you give us an investigate roll, please? It'll be using intelligence or intellect. Well, it's only 1-1, so it's not a snake eyes situation. If you spend 1 luck, that'll give you just a baseline success beyond just like, the discussion of the trivial. It'll give you something consequential beyond just like background information about the True Kings.
Anyone has any objections?
No.
Because we're flush.
It's bonkers. Is Soulbound has that mechanic where you have to get consent from people from everyone in the party to do it, and there's a consequence if people don't. I can't imagine what group you're playing with where people are like, no, you can't fucking use it. No. I mean, clearly there are groups like that because they've got the rules in there, but so what you can tell, the True Kings are situated as kind of they're kind of a third, like truly a third power as far as the 3 sort of leading things are. What you know is that the True Kings are a more recent thing. That the name comes from a series of rival gangs or rival clans, some with different king names and whatnot that were in there. They allied, kind of, bringing the Khans together, Genghis Khan style, to become the True Kings. So they do have a significant influence here, but it is like it is relatively recent, and it's powerful enough to and kind of evangelical enough to other tribes for it to serve as a good counter to the other 2 that are really at one another's throats. What it would mean is swaying the True Kings would be a more difficult prospect than something like Ganzerig's Horde that has one individual. The True Kings does have, unlike the sort of, Connaught where there's one person in charge, there are people from, there's sort of like a council that runs theirs. A council of, former Khans, as it were. So killing one, influencing one is not going to have the kind of the same degree of influence as what, say, one, getting Ganzerig to influence the True Kings kind of wants to be what Ganzerig's Horde is, which is a very powerful faction under one individual. Firedog faction likewise is a extended family kind of thing, so very similar in sort of structure to what the others are. But the True Kings may very well not have a part in this because they are a more collaborative kind of warrior cult as opposed to the other 2. So that might explain why they're not having a play in it. If either of them, if either of the other 2, either single family or single person focused ones allied with the True Kings, it would certainly, change the balance of power in here and may not require the need for an intercessor still. Or at least whoever, is the single outsider who's kind of keeping all the rival factions in check.
Interesting.
Any other questions?
No, I think that he'll just make some notes, do some reading.
Okay. He's got a copy of that opera that he heard on Gibraltar Station playing in the background. Making notes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what are the different gang factions here? As if it's a trying to. I mean, I guess it is in some ways trying to organize, squabbling interns. Anyone else have anything they wish to do before we turn to our resident Aslan passenger?
For me, no.
Nobody? Okay. Let's go back to our ship then. And it is... Boy, one of my resolutions has been to name all the pages for when I use the... Here we go, the Rift Wanderer. So I use the transmogrifier. I can actually find it instead of seeing copy of copy of copy of copy. And here we go. So, we know that Teal Toro has been visiting with Ultima One a fair bit because of his experience with his Teal Toro's people and his ability to converse in his native tongue. And I imagine that's probably where you would find them, is in the room, maybe engaging in some kind of whatever the Aslan equivalent of Go is. They're playing that. Something that is a more, contemplative, strategic, but also abstracted, so you're not playing Warhammer, on the tabletop. You walk in, and the two of them are engaged in that, and they seem to have reached a level where they're not constantly chatting and feeling the need to do that. They are comfortable enough in one another's silence. They both look over, and I can't remember. Did you introduce yourself as Dane or as your former military rank to Ultima One, or how would he refer to you?
Dane.
Dane. So he walks in.
Yeah, I don't like to use my former military rank as much as possible.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's tough to brag about being a private, right? So no, I'm kidding.
The Force Commander. Yeah.
Exactly. I'd use it all the goddamn time. There's a reason I made people refer to me as Master Kevin Madison Esquire. So, what?
Most of the time, Dane doesn't think on.
So as the door opens, you can see Ultima One looks over, and he says, good morning, Dane.
Oh, good morning. I have something to discuss with Teal Toro, and it's a matter of some urgency.
I'll excuse myself. He turns and he says something in Aslan to Teal Toro. Teal Toro nods and he leaves. Is anyone else joining you for this chat, or are you having it just kind of man to Aslan?
I'm very happy to be accompanied. That's fine. Don't mind.
Oh, you don't mind? Okay. Well, then I think that Alonso might be there. He's very curious how this is going to go. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else wish to join Dane and Alonso for this conversation? Dr. Elias is, I think, doing his research.
Yep.
Captain or anchor?
I guess we're in the lounge, right?
They're going to the
lounge.
They're Dane and Alonso are meeting with Teal Toro in the passenger lounge.
Okay.
If that's what you'd like to, it's
unless
quick.
The captain has me doing other things, I can,
What do you think, Captain?
You'll be free. I'll be tinkering around in the cockpit.
Okay.
Okay.
Or on the bridge. Whatever you want to call it.
So then Anchor, Alonso, and Dane will be present for this. So as Ultima One, leaves and the door, or the door to the lounge closes, Teal Toro kind of leans back in his chair and says, Is there a problem?
Yes, there is. But it's a problem that the crew have decided that they wish to solve. In summary, we are undertaking an operation that is driven from a moral imperative over strategic prudence or tactical intelligence. And as such, it is fraught with some considerable risk. the crew have decided to undertake this operation, and I felt it right that you be informed of it, as the impacts of the operation could have some personal impact to yourself, depending on how it bears out. Again, in summary, there is one of the 3 factional powers on the planet. One of them has, in an effort to expand their influence at the detriment to another, has kidnapped the faction leader's daughter and is holding this young woman in a facility some considerable place away. This will cause purely within the planetary environment internecine conflict, and will significantly impact the sort of socioeconomic status of this particular world. The crew have decided that they cannot stand by and feel that we are in a position to be able to intervene and remedy this situation before the broader canvas plays out. As such, and this will involve basically heading to the facility, intruding into the facility, potentially undertaking some sort of small unit action, which will involve combat of some sort, probably with bounty hunters, to retrieve this captive and restore the situation. It won't restore the politics, that's beyond us, but it will return this particular young woman to freedom from captivity. So that is what has been decided, and that is what is going to happen. And we are currently just finalizing how we're going to go about doing this. The reason I raise this with you is for 2 purposes. One is that I think you rightly should be informed. And secondly, and I leave this entirely at your own decision, you have some considerable expertise, I believe, in military operations at a senior level. Should you wish to accompany us on this operation as an active member of the group to support us in a positive outcome, then I'm offering you this opportunity. The team will undertake this operation with or without you, but it was my judgment that you should both know, and that you should both be also given an opportunity to act freely and out of. And I sort of look meaningfully around this sort of rather sort of small passenger lounge that he's been cooped up in for weeks. An opportunity to perhaps leave the confines of the apparent safety of this ship.
First, I thank you for your continued candor. It is appreciated. Might I ask questions?
You may, of course.
I mean no offense to your kind when I say that you have no accepted sense of honor. Our people know what is honorable and is not. And the seizing of captives is not, absent a declaration of a war of assassins, an honorable form of conflict. In our kind, your kind, are as varied as the stars.
That is one of our strengths, yes.
He laughs at that. He doesn't realize he may not have been making a joke of it, but he really finds it funny. This place and these factions, would they view this as acceptable and honorable, seizing vulnerable captives?
The use of captives, particularly those of family and blood, is a traditional form of blackmail to exert power over others. And as a way of proceeding, the factions themselves will understand the power of it and at times the necessity of it. Overall, the overarching government do not find this acceptable, not especially because an innocent person has been taken captive, but because of the disruption.
I am confused. You say innocent, but you say this is an accepted form of conflict for them.
Yeah, of course.
I think these people have no honor.
Very little, if any.
There is once again, then, an innocent, and you cannot ignore their peril.
That was the judgment of the crew overall.
And yourself?
I pause. I perhaps looked to the strategic necessities of preserving the overall mission, which is to get you to where you need to be.
But you feel your duty is to do as your crew demands, in spite of your personal preferences.
I struggle with preferences, but yes, I do. If that is what they need, I have certain skills that would help, and therefore I will do as they will. After all, we are in our own way family.
And the burden of the protector is a heavy one. My next question: what will be done with this innocent?
She will be returned to her family.
While exposing the others, or without indicating that it happened at all?
We will not be advertising what has taken place, but there are risks.
In my kind, as you see, revenge. Revenge is a cost. And robbing them of cause for it would achieve the stability that you wish.
It may. It may.
Where is this girl?
In a GDCO facility 3,000 kilometers away.
3,000 kilometers of desert.
Quite. Yeah.
What state are they holding her? I know.
This is where it all gets a little bit vague.
They had asked you to transport her. How? Would she be journeying alongside myself and the cyborg?
Well, we hadn't discussed the cyborg, but the current operating plan was to traverse the bulk of the distance by ship and then use our two coveted vehicles.
When they asked for you to transport her, how was it? Would she be in chains? Stasis?
She will be transported by... She will be freed by us.
What did they ask? How did they
weren't
intend?
Clear. They didn't specify.
When such dishonorable tactics are used by our kind, low birth is the favored means of transporting. Hold in stasis, a captive done so consumes no food nor water, nor makes any escapes, any attempts at escape. You said there were only 2 of them.
This is again where we come to the lack of tactical intelligence. We know of 2 bounty hunters who are actively involved in negotiating her full exit from the planet. What we don't know is whether they are operating as communication to a broader group.
Then you do not know whether you will find...
Go in not knowing.
If she is in stasis, will it not require your physician?
It will. And we are all going.
Your doctor is going as well.
Dr. Ilias is concerned that this be a successful operation, yes.
You can see whatever passes for an Aslan smirk goes on his face. He's like, yes, of course. A perfect excuse for him to join. You may recall he's convinced that Dr. Ilias is a master spy. So
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure Dr. Ilias's particular expertise will be, in many forms, extremely useful on the mission.
And Ultima.
Ultima. I hadn't thought about Ultima, which is a mistake on my part. And the crew had not, I don't think, necessarily expected him to come. But
No.
what is your judgment?
He looks a little surprised. He says, but I mean, grateful, surprised. You show me great courtesy by involving me in these discussions. I feel Ultima is more part of your crew than as I am a passenger. Strange he may look, but I see him no different than any of you. He is not a service robot. He is not a combat unit. He has a traveler's soul.
Indeed.
It is in all things your crew, your ship. You choose to deal with things how you care to. But if you thought so much of the prospect of him being at risk to jeopardize your crew to save him, it might follow that you should likewise consider him a person worthy of the consideration you show your passengers.
I acknowledge what you said. I have reflected and I would agree. I would put it to the crew. Do you not think so, Alonso?
I would definitely agree.
And
We will
Anchor,
bring this back to the captain.
Yes, we should involve Ultima One if he would like to be involved.
Yeah.
your task is an honorable one. And I have my own duty to tend to. A burden I must see delivered, alive and in person. But if you deem this worth the risk, and you see your chances of success, this is an honorable task. And I would be pleased to assist.
On that basis, and if you are, and acknowledging the risks, then we are very glad that you will.
It sits poorly, the taste in my mouth. Such deceptive tactics. We will have an opportunity to see them punished. He sort of flexes, and you can see the dew claw kind of comes out just a little bit unintentionally, as he is.
Yeah.
When you make your preparations, I will join and offer what wisdom I can.
Very good.
Thank you, Dane.
Thank you.
And Alonso and Anchor.
Boss.
Anything else you guys wish to ask or discuss with Tila Toral? Then,
I'll do.
what? Well, maybe we have the entire crew get back together for you guys to discuss what the outcome of Dane's insight is, what Dr. Ilias learned from his search of the TAS bulletin board, and you guys can discuss how, if at all, you want to approach Ultima 1 before having your discussion of how this is getting done. That work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we all meet up once again in the crew lounge. And I'll leave it to you guys. I'm not sure. Did you turn your camera off, Graham, or I just lost you? Let's see here. Did we lose Graham from the call as well? No, he's still in there. Can you guys still see Graham?
No.
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 Okay.
And his mute's gone off, so it looks like he's disconnected somehow.
Oh, got it. There he is. Okay. Perfect. Back. Oh, you might have again booted from the call too, Graham. Yeah. Let me put that. There you go. Easy access to link. I keep the link in, in my paste folder. All right. So then, what do we find? I always picture this as being like you guys. Someone's grabbing, space coffee. Someone's grabbing a bite to eat. Everyone's sitting around the lounge.
Did your chat went well, Dane? You seem to be in one piece.
I think Graham may be sorting out his mic right now. Yeah, thumbs up. Oh, hold on. He's coming back in. Here we go. And run, you little horse. Come on. It is hanging for some reason. Yep, here we go. He's in on video. And let's see here. Connecting to audio. The timing of it really couldn't have been better. Like right as we concluded the thing. There we go. You're muted in Zoom right now, Graham. But you do have audio connection, it looks like.
Sounds good.
Excellent.
Oh, there he is.
All right. So what I said was that I'm picturing you guys all sitting around in that, the crew lounge where, someone's grabbing their snacks, someone's grabbing their coffee or whatever, or a drink. What happens next? Dr. Ilias, I believe, asked a question.
Yeah, he'll come in with some notes and I'll look at Dane and say, take it your chat went well then? You seem to be in one piece. Teletorl on board.
Tito's on board and made the very relevant suggestion that we should ask our newfound sentient whether he wishes or they wish to also join us, given their considerable expertise in, well, I think almost everything.
He also pointed out that we may want to consider them as a member of the crew at this point, which I hadn't considered, to be fair. I don't know about the rest of you.
No, I hadn't considered that.
Indeed.
I think we should take Ultimar into the base in a sort of potentially combat situation.
Well, he's either a passenger or he's crew. And since he's not paying for his passage, then he must be crew.
Fair enough, Captain.
I'm not sure how much life support he uses.
I believe it's actually none. He's got, I think he can survive several days in vacuum, and I think it justifies me continually taking the robot handbook off of the shelf. I will suggest too that like his omna competence, one of the things could be seen is that it's a way of potentially overshadowing anything you guys can do. Another way of thinking of it is terrific leave behind guy, because he can fill whatever roles is necessary. If you need keep someone on board the ship, he knows how to do everyone's job on the ship.
Right, that's true.
Right?
He is like sort of the ultimate ship NPC.
He does have a transceiver that's 5,000 kilometer range too, so he can keep in touch with you guys. wherever
could
you
use them
choose.
as contingency to pick us up if we need to.
I didn't necessarily plan it this way, but like just as a metagame thing, this is a really handy way of letting all the crew go on, go out on missions without being like, well, shouldn't we have someone watch the fucking ship? Because like that seems like it's probably an important thing.
He makes a great souffle as well, apparently.
So wonderful, yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing about Traveler. In general, there are players who like to engage in having all the NPCs to fill up all the spots in the crew. And some players who just like, too many other things to think about. Now we got to think about NPCs and pay them and all that. So it's interesting styles of play.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got vacuum environment protection, so I think he's perfectly safe working in a vacuum. Yeah. Also, has a wireless wireless link as well. I can't tell you the password to it, but
Captain, you want him to take his fair share.
Well, luckily he has no interest in such material things, so.
Have you asked him? I mean, are you sure?
I am a great judge of character.
Well, I have no doubt of that.
Well, and to be fair, so
salary
far
would be wasted on him.
Yeah.
All right.
Filthy lucre, he's certainly above such things. Yeah. So then, what are you guys thinking as far as the plan goes, and how or if all are you going to tell Ultima 1 about this?
I think we should definitely keep him up to date, and he's already helped with our investigation, so I think he's aware of the basics. We can definitely keep him up to date, but it might be good to have him as of the cavalry as backup, seeing as we don't quite know what we're getting into once we get to the facility. If we're all going, or I don't know, Dane, if you prefer going ahead with Tilitoral as a scouting, or I don't know how these things are done.
I don't know. Well, usually you overwhelm something with overwhelming force, and then everything goes fine.
Well, quick time. Where do we keep the orbital drop pods in the ship? I don't remember coming across them when I was mopping, but I'm assuming they're somewhere.
Yeah. You're going to mention the fact the ship doesn't have a single weapon as well in a minute. It always comes.
Working on it, right?
Yeah.
Maybe this Drenax guy can get us some weapons on our ship.
Yeah, maybe.
Might have a ship lying around that he doesn't need.
Well, I mean, you guys would have to have some pretty impressive stories to tell him in order to impress upon him your suitability.
Every single conspiracy theory that Anchor and Alonzo,
someone being at the nexus of all these conspiracies that are going on, a person with a wide variety of experience with both the Imperial Navy and the Scout Service, a former decorated, Space Marine, a noted physician, and an investigative journalist or propagandist.
You can write it all up and look at this wonderful crew.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to see how. Being called the Pirate King may not be a way of ingratiating yourself to King Olaf.
He doesn't know about that.
The Harrier, however, definitely a bit of a fixer-upper, but that has some impressive weapons capabilities on it. But what would you? That awaits you on as a possibility on Drenax, but what are you intending on doing here? And when do you wish to bring Tilitoral in for this conversation? Anchor, you have yet to have a chance to weigh in on the plan so far.
I don't even know what the plan is. Actually, no one's really telling me the plan. Anchor's just gonna.
I keep hearing about this plan, but I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about. What are we doing here?
Yeah, I've been in engineering and working with Captain Ghani on improving the avionics for low-level flying.
Well, also, it's worth considering. There probably are certain contingencies that need to be addressed if you're transporting hazardous cargo as well.
Yeah, I mean, so I got my gas rifle, gas pistol, and claw glove ready. So, whenever.
You might have pinpointed the biggest problem with the plan, that there really isn't one.
I thought our plan, as usual, was just to give Dane a gun, push him out the door, and wait.
It's more of a free-form Jazz Odyssey, really.
I mean,
we get close. We try and do a reconnaissance as best we can, gain some intel. Then we find the best place to get in. We neutralize any opponents. We take the captive. That's it.
We just need recon to shore up our plan, really.
Yeah.
But I agree with the tenet of overwhelming.
I think one of the issues
At least we have guns.
Yeah.
We don't know who's at the facility, right? Last we saw Mihail and Gog, they were in town a day ago or earlier, yesterday. So we don't know if, presumably, maybe some of these sun sinners or guides they hired might be at the facility, but if it's just the two of them,
well, they wanted to
there might
hire.
not be anyone else.
They also didn't. I thought they had wanted to hire us to take their cargo off world as well.
That's right.
They
Have we reapproached them? Maybe they can just tell us where to pick up the cargo if we think the cargo is the kidnappee.
That was one of the plan options. Was they come to us?
Yeah, and the thought was that they're likely not going to be so easily bamboozled.
This time.
They likely are planning for contingencies for that kind of betrayal. They're obviously, and I mean, what we walked through was how the crew responded when they were approached. So for the crew walking over, looking at them and going, and then suddenly showing up a couple days later being like, hey guys, why don't you tell us where you're keeping your... If you were in those shoes, how would your characters react to that kind of sudden change of heart?
Well, we can also chalk that up to us having problems with the local government, right? Alonzo being sequestered. So sorry we couldn't give you an answer, but we were dealing with another problem. So, I mean, that's an idea. But you know where their base is already, right?
Yeah.
We do.
And we have, what conveyance do we have to get out there? Are we going to fly the ship out there? Or are we going to?
We thought so. At least, a portion of the way. Find a good drop-off point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we found the grav bike is the fastest transportation, but the air raft is not.
Not too bad.
Yeah, it's not anything to sneeze at either.
Yeah.
So depending on how far you want to go, the real restrictor was the range of those things, because the range on the grav bike I think was 2,000. No, it's 3,000 kilometers, and it was 3,000 out to the place. So you'd get out to there in time, and then the air raft has a range of 1,000.
I'm thinking we would.
We can get within 500 kilometers, or even, why even not even closer?
Maybe even closer, yeah. Maybe 100 clicks.
100 kilometers. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, spaceships fly so much faster than anything else, right? So.
Yeah. And they can go pretty much nap of Earth.
So, plan is then to get the Rift Wanderer parked somewhere in the desert, 100 kilometers or so from this research installation, and then go in with the team in the gunskiff. I saw the gunskiff on here, that's why it's fresh in my mind. The air raft and the G-bike.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Anything you wish to... I actually have as well snagged. Here we go. I didn't grab the Aslan species guide, but there's the first, version of it in the Trojan Reach guide. So I've got stats for his survival armor too. The assassins have their own armor in the Aslan things. So his would be... Ooh. I think it is simply an Aslan vac suit. I was thinking he might have a combat suit, but he probably had to leave that behind when he was fleeing for his fucking life, right?
Yep.
So at best, he's got a vac suit. So the vac suit will afford him protection 6. So I'm not sure how that compares to what you guys have as far as your various armors and whatnot.
It's about the equivalent of cloth armor. It's about the equivalent of sort of like light paramilitary sort of combat armor, effectively.
That is...
And it could be enough to save him. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a weird... I was hanging out at an angle there as a weird forced perspective, making him look like a chibi kind of Aslan. So then...
Could I just check? Have we got things like macro binoculars or something like that?
Yeah. Those kind of things would be in the ship's hold, or the ship's locker. Yep. Ship's locker is supposed to be like there's vac suits for every member of the crew, plus enough extras for the passengers. There's basic firearms in there, like shotguns and whatnot. What weapon? He has no weapons right now, apart from his deadly dew claws, but those are reserved for dueling. So...
Got a spare mag rail rifle, unless somebody else is wanting to use it.
You have?
Yeah, we got 2.
Wow.
Great.
It's for when I wanted to go double-handed with assault rifles.
Yeah. Well, it's also important to have, casual assault rifles and formal assault rifles, because you really never know what the day is going to bring you.
No, it's very hot fuzz.
Yeah, absolutely.
One's called love, one's called hate. Here we go.
All right. Anchor has his ghost weapons as well.
Yeah.
And I think Dr. Elias has a pistol, doesn't he?
Yes, it's purely for self-defense as he sees it. He's very uncomfortable with it, but he does have a Gauss pistol just in case.
Darren plays the doctor in our Spires of Paradar campaign, and the name that his mecha golem thing, the name of his attack is percussive sedation.
Amazing.
Nice. Yeah.
All right, so then Alonso, what about you? Dana has a kit of war gear, effectively, that he will be using.
Yeah, I've got polycarbon armor, which means I'm quite well protected against sort of small arms fire.
Oh, I mean, you took a shot to the chest from Dr. Bancroft, right? So,
yeah.
Oh, I didn't share with you guys too. It's a viewer had posted about how, like, oh man, that thing from Dr. Bancroft is going to come back to haunt you guys. You shouldn't have left him alive.
Oh man!
Can't imagine that anything will come from leaving a vengeful former rival of Dr. Elias is alive. That your guys will be fine. But Alonso, what are you thinking?
Well, I have cloth armor, and I have a old revolver. So I think I'm more like the backup guy,
You put him on the ship guns.
Yeah. Near the back of the fight.
Just make a lot of loud noises.
I do appreciate Jeff having a running theme of playing a character with the most dogshit weapon of the entire crew in every sci-fi game we play. Awesome. Oh, so you will have to wear, I mean, it's some kind of respirator or whatnot.
I'll protect Dr. Ilias.
Okay. All right, then. Then, guys, why don't we take our mid-session break? And then we'll talk about how you guys are going to get yourself out there. You are sitting on a shit ton of luck, which is going to weigh in your favor for making this a successful extraction. So for those listening at home, we'll be back in about 5 minutes.
Is Alonso doing some practice runs on the ship with just...
He just hasn't fired his revolver in a very long time. He wanted to make sure it still functions.
Are there rules about low attack level weapons not affecting high attack level armor or things like that?
I don't know that. I hope that's not the case.
No, it's just down to their kind of damage rating and any penetration they might have versus the armor rating of the weapon of the armor, and the armor tends to become more effective and has higher ratings the higher the attack level. There might be something about the converse when you're using archaic armor and getting shot at by a gun. I think there may used to have been something there.
And your armor isn't ablative, right? It stays the same. It's like damage reduction, or does it go and then?
No, it doesn't ablate. Apart from an armor called ablative, which very much does. It tends to be used against laser fire. There's probably an optional rule where it does somewhere, probably.
Where? Which?
I was wondering if how tech level and if there's rules for lower tech level weapons against higher tech level armor or vice versa. If there's any sort of, it's just not effective because you're using a bow and arrow against tech level 14 power armor or things.
They've got a fairly narrow band of damage scale. Like if you GURPS has the Traveler in the new Interstellar Wars, and the trouble with GURPS is that because it tries to model everything realistically, you'll have laser rifles that do like 12d6 damage, and characters on average, their health is an average person is a 10, so like you're going to be vaporizing people with that shit, and then the scale is with the armor goes up so high where it is like it's effectively mega damage, like the Rift's concept of that you physically cannot roll high enough to do damage to someone with a bow and arrow. This game has that to a degree, but it keeps everything in a much tighter band. I think the weapons cap out at like 5d6, 6d6 damage normally. So it's just modeled by the fact that it's harder to get in, but there is no critical hit in this game either, so there's not like finding a chink in the armor. So it's really just a matter of arithmetic as the way that they mitigate against that stuff. There isn't like a penalty for using it against, or it's just like ineffective, flat out ineffective, the way that it is in like I think Rogue Trader uses the primitive weapon. Maybe I'm confusing it with something else. I probably am. No, I think it's got a primitive weapon trait for it, and what that does is I think it means that like it either doubles or something like that the armor as effective as against basic stuff. But this game doesn't do that. Not that I haven't given thought to it. Oh yeah, GURPS also has this odd escalating thing of armor piercing qualities, where it's like AP2, AP5, AP10, so you divide the armor by that stuff. But then it also has durability of an escalating scale too. So like you can have durable 3 and armor piercing 5. So it's like, okay, so it's 2 steps, so then I'm multiplying it by 5 or dividing by 5 before I apply it. So I love GURPS. I shouldn't. I'm not. Taking that as an opportunity to take pot shots at GURPS. I love that game, but it is funny the mathematical loops that it goes through. Okay, so we're all here. Then Guys, anything we need to do before you set out? Who's going to be in which vehicle? And what is the plan for the first stage? We will also get a chance to roll for random encounters, because someone did warn you about the bugs out there.
Yep.
Did anyone think to bring their interstellar off with them? I'm not sure if that translates to Europeans. Off is a mosquito repellent, a spray that we use in maybe that's only no. Texas has fucking bugs too. You guys must have mosquito repellent or something like that, right?
Yes.
I was given bear spray when I was in Calgary, but over in
that you less want to apply to yourself. It sounds like that is supercharged pepper spray, and that is very effective, or can be very effective against it. But mosquito repellent is shit you spray on yourself, not spray on.
Oh, sorry. Dane's mind is always about how do you attack the thing.
Exactly. Although I do love the idea of sitting around with a spray trying to get every individual mosquito.
Yeah.
You fucker. You fucker. All right.
Apparently, I had to look this up for a Savage Worlds game, but apparently pepper spray works well against insects and arachnids.
Really? Yeah, I believe it.
So someone had used a pepper spray to hold off a swarm of spiders.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, anything is going to be an area effect kind of thing.
Yeah, I know.
That shit. I worked at this is a non-sequitur, but I worked at a restaurant that did, like, it was a 24-hour restaurant, and we'd always have the bar crowd and whatnot, and we had, God, like 4 months straight where, like, every Saturday someone was setting off a pepper bomb, like a pepper spray bomb in the fucking restaurant, so we just were closing down for Saturday because someone pepper bombed the entire place.
Jeez.
Yeah. This was in the 90s, so like we didn't have like surveillance or anything like that in there.
Yeah, I did share on the forum. I don't know if these guys follow, but I did finally had my first whataboutist comment on.
You hit the threshold. Yep, that's you gotta love that hide viewer from comment.
I don't. It doesn't matter. I mean, actually, my wife Amy said that just leave it because it just increases. I mean, you don't need to, but I mean, I'm starting. You can delete all you want.
No, and it's true to choose. Yeah, like what you're choosing to focus on.
Hundreds of views. So
yeah,
but I mean, I think the funny thing is, and he shared, I ran this adventure, and so it's like an adventure where a bunch of teens, like it's a horror teen flick, right? So you can imagine that. So in his adventure, his teens actually killed the big monster, which to me is even more highly suspect. But whatever. So it's a really tough monster. It's got all that, only gets wounded once, can only be affected by certain things.
Yeah.
Teens without stuff won't be able to. It's better to run away. So the guy's problem was that like the author put cars after the year 2000, it's hard to steal them, which is not correct, but it's hard to steal them and you can't really hotwire them. But it's also the series is called Savage Saturday Cinema. So that means to me that movie and TV show rules apply. 100%. So how many times do you see it when they break the steering column and hotwire a car?
Yeah.
Right? Every single, show.
Yeah. Well, and that is what Savage Worlds does very best. Is it captures the feel of action media.
Right. But I guess he said, well, the author of the adventure said you can't do it. But I don't know.
Wow.
It's actually...
Wow.
Well, I mean, here in San Antonio, we are having a lot of car thefts, and they do it in like 10 to 15 seconds.
Then, it's like that kind of the appeal to authority is always a shitty way to argue anyway, but it's especially when it's a fucking role-playing game. Like, you're not contractually obliged.
That has demon spiders.
Well, and also, like, this is something that every role-playing game always says is, like, this is how it's written, run it your own way. There's few games. Delta Green is really the only one where the authors are like, no, there's a right way to run this. So,
but even then, like, I play tested, we play tested God's Teeth.
Yeah.
And actually, this is one of the few times that I play tested that they really incorporated a lot of our suggestions.
Oh, nice.
So I would recommend God's Teeth. But like, so my if you played with my wife, she goes off the rails a lot. So she went off the rails a lot. And then like, there's a whole section in this new adventure on how to do what she did, because she kind of knows, I mean, she's a paralegal, so she kind of knows, how certain things work.
Yeah.
And they had it. The author had it all wrong in the way child services worked in that and especially in that area. So
Yeah.
So, but
I'm always intrigued by somebody arguing that hot wiring isn't realistic in a game of Savage Worlds.
Yeah.
right.
That well-known simulationist system.
Yeah, it's that's a bonkers thing. Well, and again, and it's a fucking adventure. Everybody is entitled to make whatever changes they want, unless you're playtesting it. If you're playtesting it, then there's an obligation on it to run it as it is and give feedback.
And then comment, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely fucking bonkers. No, fuck that person, Carl. Congrats on hitting that threshold of the first shitty comment, but yeah, wow. All right, then
I thought I was being helpful.
One of Jeff's many sock puppet accounts that he uses.
Yeah, right.
Tip a devil.
Endless sock puppet accounts.
Just like and subscribe. It's like and subscribe.
Hi, sweetie. Anna says hi.
Oh, I finally got to run Harn. I finally got to run some Harn.
Oh, that's great. Nice.
Put that on there.
Excellent. Yeah, so I think I've got it linked in. If I don't, I'll do it as soon as we wrap up the session, but I'll give the link to Carl's channel, the GMologist YouTube channel.
Just mention it.
Mm-hmm. So, but what is the plan here for infiltration, guys?
I thought we were gonna land, try to fly the ship about 100 kilometers out.
Okay.
And then I don't know how many people did the grab bike seat.
Grab bike, I think one, maybe two.
With maybe a pillion, maybe
yeah.
two.
I mean, the
push.
Aslan, I believe, are heavier than.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it'd be a little uncomfortable having him riding.
But he might like the wind in his hair. I don't know.
Well, he's in a full vac suit though, so it'll be.
I know.
So that is a badass look. We get a lot of jokes about flowing scarves in our Paradar campaign because one of the guys has a mechanized carriage. He wears goggles and he has a scarf around his neck that flaps behind when he rides it.
Yeah, speaking of Paradar, since I haven't been able to make that, you can just make my guy a villain.
No, he'll sit in the background. You got a connection to
okay, that's
to
cool.
what do you got to
If I ever
Basil?
come back, I was wondering if I could ever come back.
Oh, of course, yeah. There's never there's never a closed door in any characters. I don't think I've ever, especially with player characters, I'm not sure there's any campaign where I've intentionally taken a player character and done something with them. Because it's not, once, even with pre-gens, once you guys get the stamp on them, that's not really something I'm comfortable doing to your characters without your participation. So, no, he's there. We assume he's off on a bender. He had a troubled life, your character. So,
yes, he did.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I guess I'll volunteer to pilot the air raft.
Yeah, one crew. There's the G-Bike has one. There isn't, from the illustration, it doesn't look like there's room for a second person on there.
So who's on the grab bike?
I guess it's tough to sit in the back and hold on when you're traveling at, however many thousands of kilometers an hour that thing flies.
Yeah.
So who's got Grav apart from anything else?
The skill for flyer, Grav?
Yeah, Grav.
I mean, if you got flyer, it's at a 0 then anyway, right? That's the way how those cascade skills work.
Yeah, so I've got Grav 2 in case for one of them.
Yeah, no, nothing.
I've got flyer.
I got flyer grab as well.
Okay.
I'd be on the air raft, I think.
Okay. What else? Is there anything else you guys wish to bring apart from your binoculars?
Plus a net kit.
I give everyone. I know I bought enough radios.
Oh, for everyone to see. Yep.
Yeah, comm dots.
Okay. Awesome.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So yeah, improved comm dots actually.
The mag rifle that you gave Telatoro, is that out of Central Supply or is that out of the core book?
Yep.
Central Supply. Okay.
Central Supply, I think.
Okay.
So Tech 14.
Ooh.
That's why I got 2 while I had the chance.
Heck yeah.
Nice.
Doesn't do much in armor piercing, but that's why I wanted it.
Here we go. Mag rail rifle, yeah. 4d6 plus 3 damage and auto 6.
Blimey.
Yeah. It is not for fucking about. So then, recognize that only one person could fit on it. And Dane, do you have any level in flyer?
1.
1. Okay, good. Yeah, so actually you're able to navigate that thing. What's the plan for the actual reconnoitering of it? We're actually using the recon skill for recon, guys. Wow. Good for us.
I mean, I have a pretty decent recon. I mean, it's a 2. Well, actually, if D's intelligence or dex for it, it depends.
For this one, the suggested ones are all in. Ooh. Oh no, it's dex. Yeah, this
Dex.
would be dex.
Okay.
What is the actual?
So I've got fly 0.
First things first. Let's do this. Wood. Here we go. Ooh.
I have a recon of 2 total.
Wow. Brilliant. Looks like you're our recon person.
Yep.
So.
Yep. I mean, that's how I hit those tight landing spots for your Black Ops.
He's always a guy hiding in the shadows while people are having, secret conversations. They meet up, they whisper to one another, talk about their plots, walk away, and then Anchor kind of steps out of the shadows, like,
yeah,
chewing on an apple.
I need to talk to Alonzo now. For his next book.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so then Wood.
Alonzo is a ghostwriter of sci-fi action novels.
Yeah.
But it's all the true conspiracies.
First off will be Anchor.
Yep. Don't crash.
You're going to want to fly casual here.
Okay.
So why don't you give us a fly starship check, right?
Starship?
Hold on, what is it? That's
spacecraft.
It's pilot spacecraft.
Pilot spacecraft, got it. Okay.
Any bonuses?
Yep, pilot spacecraft. So here's the difficulty of it is going to be a 6. This is going to be really crop dusting kind of. It's not going to be that hard. But what I'll let you do is hold on for your roll. I'm going to let you decide how hard it will be for anyone observing. Whatever you take above that for your target number will be a penalty to anyone trying to pay attention.
Okay.
So what are you thinking? 6 is what you're rolling for right now. You do have a lot of luck you can also invest.
Right.
But what would you like to roll against? Like, for instance, if you say, I'm going to roll against a 10, that'll be -4 to anyone trying to listen in.
Okay, and we add the luck before or after?
After the roll.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to try to... That sounds like a good idea. Make it difficult for people to see us and spot us. That's probably good. Okay.
So go ahead and give us a pilot spacecraft roll.
Okay.
There you go. Beautiful. So what do you think the maneuvers are?
He's flying really, he's been looking at topographical maps of the planet and kind of planning, he's been doing simulation, right, of the piloting and the flying. So he really goes through the canyons in between these, rock formations and flying nap of the earth as best as possible, sort of.
Love it. All right.
And then finds a nice gulch to camp in.
Then what you will also find is, I know we're not physically moving around a ship or a miniature on the table, but I still can't help but make fucking sound effects. What is, let's see here. So I believe, I thought it was Alonzo who uncovered the connection to Gidico with this place.
Oh, yeah, he might have when he was doing his computer research.
Okay, so here's what you find. This is going to be a couple of centuries old here, but this is what someone had posted at some point as like a view of the facility. It's not a secret facility or anything like that. That is what it looks like.
That's pretty serious.
Yeah. Then, you guys seem to have infiltrated or landed here. Would Captain Ganny, you're the one whose shoulders all this stuff falls on, so would you give us a D6 for your random encounter roll, please? Would you now give us a 2d6 roll, please?
That's on the nice and nothing table.
I do really like the Travelers, like, encounters are not combat encounters predominantly. They're a variety of interesting things. Although you guys seem to always roll pirate, so that's pretty great. It is before they separate the like on planet encounter section from the space encounter section in it, and like I see the logic in that, but it does make it kind of frustrating when you're like, oh, I found the table. Oh no, it's the fucking space table. All right, here we go. Okay. So, as you guys land on the in the canyon, you get yourself all outfitted. How far away are you from the facility? We said 100
kilometers.
Okay, so I think that's like what, like 10 minutes speed.
It's very close, yeah.
Yeah. So, tell me about, or tell us, I should say, about how how you're choosing to do your reconnoitering. And I will suggest, if you wish to have more than one person go along, remember you can assist. So you basically grant a boon on Anchor's roll. If Anchor is going to take the lead as your scout.
Okay. Right.
Well,
so
that's mechanically what's happening. What narratively is happening here?
Well, I think we want to land, like, looks like there's a lot of rock formation, so we can fly as close to the ground as possible in the air raft and grab bike.
Yep.
And then land behind one of these rock formations, and then we move on from there.
Let me move you
on
over
the ground as stealthily as possible.
Yeah, and one thing you could consider as well is that the air raft, I don't believe, has a its ceiling of operation is quite high, right?
Yeah, you can like if it's not enclosed, you can like heavy metal movie come down like a car come down from from outer space. So
then this is what you're expecting. So I figured I'd bring this over here. How far away do you wish to stop before you do your reconnoitering? And are you all going in and then the two are going to do the reconnoitering, or are you traveling to a certain distance, then sending, say, Dane and Anchor in to check out the place, or just Anchor? I'm not sure what the final plan was. What are you thinking, guys?
I've just double-checked the loot from the last desolate lair we raided, and it has a neural activity scanner with a range of 500 meters, which lets you detect mental.
Oh wow!
Can detect neural activity up to 500 meters away. The device can also give you a rough estimation of the intelligence level of organisms based on brainwave patterns. I have no idea if that gets blocked by certain alloys or things like that, like 1 inch of lead or 10 feet of wood, or however D&D detect spells work. But it's a 10-kilogram backpack and handheld scanner.
Yeah, so you'll leave that up to you to scan and communicate with us what you detect, and then we can confirm that.
But I think Dr. Ilias would, I mean, he'd happily go and scout ahead, but he was more thinking one of the people that's going to be in the front would take the scanner with them and happily show you how to use it. But I can come with if you think that'd be more useful.
Oh, but if it's like a 500-meter range, then, if we land about 100 meters from the facility...
If you guys are landing an air car 100 meters from the facility, there's a pretty good chance of folks either hearing or seeing you.
Or shooting us down.
Yeah, it's tough to be 100 meters is not. I mean, like think of what a 100-meter race, right?
Yeah.
Like that's
so maybe for a kilometer away.
So forgive me for the Imperial system. Remember, a meter's about the same length as a yard. It's not quite for the pedantic comments that I might get.
So the air up could probably be a kilometer away then, if that's more reasonable.
Definitely the Red Whiff Wanderer, you landed 100 kilometers away, and then you want to stop off at a kilometer and then kind of hoof it in?
Yeah.
Okay.
That seems reasonable.
Okay.
Or even like if we wanted to, like on the top of this mountain and then, rappel down. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Does anyone have jetpacks?
I don't think so. No jetpacks.
Grab belts would be great, but we don't have them.
If we had grab belts, we could do that. What kind of operation
scrambling
are you running,
along
Captain?
the top of this? You know what'd be really great here? Fucking grab belts.
Grab belts.
Shit of a.
Yeah. So probably that's. So we're not going to land up there on the mountain, which would be kind of cool. And then we could, grab belt in like Space Marines.
Yeah. So let's do this. Let's have. So who is going to be part of the reconnoitering part of the crew? We'll assume that you guys
that's a great idea. But we'll take the neural scanner then. So someone who.
I think Dr. Ilias might come along just in case the hostage is in like immediate danger or anything. So I think he'll actually.
Well, we're all going to go eventually.
Brave about it, but I think he'll come along for the reconnoiter.
Okay. Oh, I'm forgetting one participant in this. Hold on. Let me grab your Aslan.
And the guys with the mag
what is Ultima 1? Is Ultima 1 watching the ship?
I think he's on the ship as extraction.
Cavalry.
Hot extraction, likely.
Now, for this kind of thing too, we don't have Traveler doesn't have like flashback rolls or anything like that. But I think it's safe to say none of us are former Imperial assault Marines. None of us have extensive careers in the Imperial Navy. We can assume your characters, if you want to like add something in flashback, like, oh, we told so and so to do something like that. So long as it's reasonable, I'm probably going to be okay with it.
Right.
So then you guys are all geared up. Tila Toral, takes the rifle.
Yeah, the mag rails can probably be on Overwatch. I mean, because I'm sure they have a ridiculous range.
I could tell you whether Tila Toral's got recon actually as well.
Well, if everyone has recon, well, we all go. I mean, I don't know.
He does. Yeah, he's trained recon as well.
I mean,
who does not have any training in recon?
I don't.
Can you fly an aircraft?
What's the reverse of inconspicuous?
Can you fly an aircraft?
No. I don't know if piloting or flying.
There's also the stealth skill as well.
I do have stealth.
I think stealth is more like a specific trying to hide from one individual person, whereas recon is trying to actually gain information in an inconspicuous way.
I do have jack of all trades.
You do jack of all trades, yeah. And you got a lot of luck.
So it's not impossible for me to...
Oh, no, so recon's more... No, so recon is more the perception skill. Yeah, it is stealth. Stealth is what I'm talking about. So forgive me, guys. Stealth is what you're going to want to be looking at. Recon is your perception skill.
Well, I'm the recon guy. I'm not a stealthy person. Dane,
so Anchor will be the keen eyes.
Yeah.
And is very disappointed. Tila Toral is not super stealthy. He is not an assassin, nor does he seem to really favor the tactics of the War of Assassins. So.
Yep. So who's the stealth guy? Alonzo?
I guess it's Alonzo.
So does the rest of the crew does not have any training in stealth whatsoever, or you got it at a 0?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, Dane does.
Dane does. Okay.
Nothing.
So then, if you wish, Anchor is the one who's got the best recon. Do you wish to bring the three of you along then? Dane and Alonzo, so Alonzo can roll and take a boon from Dane, or Dane can roll, take a boon from Alonzo, and then also have Anchor make a roll on the skill, whatever, ladder thing, and then that will be his impact on it.
Okay.
Skill chain, not ladder.
I have a stealth. My total is a 2.
Okay.
That's good.
For deciding who should do the roll and who should.
And Dane, what's your total?
My stealth is 2, effectively, with DM.
Same.
Okay.
Okay, so it's all the same.
Oh, sorry, Anchor, you're trained in stealth as well?
I'm not.
You're not, okay. So you take the -3 untrained thing then, right?
Yep.
Okay. So then, task chain. Why don't you give us a stealth roll so it'll be a dex roll with -3, Anchor.
Okay.
And then we'll get into the narration of what's happening in fiction.
5. Not so bad.
5 is failed by 3, be -2 to Dane and Alonso's thing. If you want to spend 3 luck, that would get net at a +1.
Yep.
Do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, who wants to roll? Either Dane is rolling with a boon or Alonso's rolling with a boon. Who is feeling lucky?
Well,
like
Alonso
this-
is hot with the rolls.
Okay. Is
got
a
a boon
boon?
from me.
Do you turn it on or?
Yeah, I think
Yeah, you
it's
turn it on.
At the top.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's at the
Yeah.
Boon. There it is. Okay.
Right at the top, yeah.
Here we
There
go.
we go.
And with +1 as well on top of because of Anchor's assistance. Is that?
Oh my god.
Well, it's not Snake Eyes. It would have been Snake Eyes if you had
Wow.
not rolled in the boon. Holy shit!
Amazing.
Roll 20 was just giving you more rope there, Jeff. So now you do have a lot of luck.
Yeah. Should you use 2 luck?
I think we might need some of it here.
So this will be the difficulty for the recon check for them to spot you.
Oh.
What are you thinking?
I think we better spend some of our luck,
Spend like 4.
or we're giving
four,
away
yeah.
the.
Okay.
Yeah, blow 4.
Okay. So then, you guys land. Who was piloting the grav bike then? Was it Captain Ganny? You've taken possession of this thing now?
The grab bike.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've parked that. Everyone else has piled out of this. You've set yourself down in another area, in a somewhere further along this sort of the foothills that make up this this section of Hilfer. It's tough. Like, so much of this planet looks so much like the rest of it. Like it is very tough to tell one part from another. You can appreciate you're only a couple thousand kilometers outside of the city, but this whole planet may very well look all like this, thanks to the discipline imposed by the Sindalan Empire for the uncooperative citizens of Hilfer. The 500 meter hike in that the three of you make is actually made a lot easier because from where you land, what is the range of the binoculars? It must be a kilometer, right?
I'll have to look.
Electro binoculars.
It's one of those Luke Skywalker sets, you know, where you press buttons and then you
Yeah,
get
exactly.
cool effects. Yeah.
I'm looking at the stats here. It says far enough, Kev. Oh, okay.
I mean, I think Alonso could also operate this brain machine that Dr. Ilias pointed out.
Well, it's gonna be recon, right? So.
Oh, it's a recon roll? Yeah, you better do it then.
Yeah.
Well, Anchor's carrying it at least.
Here we go. Page 116 of the core book.
Yeah, I don't think it gives a range.
Yeah, it does
It's
not say.
like near, far, extreme. It's gonna be like
Yeah.
a range band.
So you definitely could see from fairly far away. At that distance, I think you only see sort of the structure itself, so you know you're in the right area. It looks a fair bit more weathered and discolored than what you see in the illustration here, but it's pretty much otherwise intact. It's a very well-sheltered, high-tech facility that would have been used for any kind of scientific work. And there's a very, very faded kind of symbol that's on it of some kind of stylized sun. And you can guess it's probably a tribal or clan marking for the facility from the Sun Sinners. Once you reach about a half-kilometer point off from it, Anchor, why don't you give us a recon roll? We'll give you +2 because of the really good job you guys did with stealth. No one's trying to hide. No one's trying to, conceal themselves. And when we get the result of this, I will tell you when I give you the description. Holy smokes!
9.
It's not snake eyes. Great. All right, so you get yourself set up. This is something I love about this campaign is leaning into the random encounters, because we had what was going to be in there too. I'm incorporating James's random encounter into this. Here's what you see. It most definitely is something that is controlled by the Sun Sinners, and you were able to do a good enough job, Anchor, of checking to see for armed individuals. And from what you can tell from where you assume the entrance is in that kind of concave area at the front there.
This thing here?
Yeah. There are 2 guards that seem to be there. They're dressed very much in the Hilfer chic of kind of, quasi-environmental, post-apocalyptic bandit kind of gear. They seem to be wielding some kind of projectile weapons, which likely requires a great deal of maintenance in this environment. But the thing that wasn't on the guide from the TAS or the older thing is that it looks like there is a small community of about 200 people who have built up around this facility as well. So there's a small village or thorp or caravan stop. A lot of these folks end up leading nomadic lifestyles, and that seems to be the case here, is that some have settled down. It is not there are some quasi-permanent structures in here, but a lot of it is tents or prefab units that have been purchased from off-planet and assembled here.
So there's this is like a keep, and then there's like a village side of it.
Yeah, almost. Okay. Like they're I mean, in the shelter of the mountain, with a defensible strong point. If you're happening to be raided by other folks, and this is what I was looking for. Your kind of desert soldier types.
Yep. Yeah. What? So maybe we can't go in guns blazing. Perhaps this is like more of like a send some talker types in and find out what they can find. Right.
What you can there is from what you can tell, there is only 2 that are armed. Let me rephrase that. There are 2 that are on watch. There does seem to be a couple other people who are in here, but it's like hunting rifles and very antiquated ones.
Yeah. So they're guarding that entrance. I guess that's where you assume that they're going to be keeping.
Can we get around the side? Can we get around the side and work up behind them?
Absolutely. There's not enough of them to make out. Yeah. There's only really one side that they've set up stuff on. And the Dr. Ilias, you've got your scanner as well. In total, there are, let me think here. What is the level of fidelity? Is it just life signs and that's it?
This consists of a backpack, can detect neural activity up to 500 meters away, can give a rough estimation of the intelligence level of organisms based on brainwave patterns.
Okay. So what you can detect, in a moment you're going to tell us about Dr. Ilias's enthusiasm for using this new piece of medical imaging technology. But he picks up a total of about 150, a little less than that, individuals. The vast majority of them seem to be in this kind of squatters camp that they've got set up. It does appear to you, if you take a look, Alonzo, I think you got the more substantial experience with dealing with on. Actually, you know what, Dr. Abdel, it's that desert planet where you were working before. Remember there was the ones that had been irradiated by the constant nuclear wars? This is very much like them. This planet is actually fairly similar to where you had been doing a lot of research. These people are ready, like it is a permanent structure, but nothing that can't be torn down within a day. You know, but because they're so used to doing that, everyone sort of knows what their role is when setting up. So they set everything up, and it looks like almost as if it could be a permanent structure. But you would know that these people would be able to tear this thing down and be ready to go in 12 hours. Say, like the average length of playtime for a Valheim session. What you pick up, though, as well, Dr. Ilias, is that there are only, in the structure, including the 2 guards that are there appears to be 13 individuals total. 13 life signs. Now, why don't you give us...
Inside the keep.
Inside the keep, exactly.
Inside the facility. Yeah.
This is my really, really roundabout way of getting a Fang Dragon into the game. Why don't you guys give us or Dr. Ilias, give us a medicine roll. It's medicine or is it first aid?
Medic.
Okay. It's neither of those medicine. Okay. I'm assuming it's only one
today.
Yeah. Definitely keeping us on our toes. So what you're able to pick up is from the relative positions of things. It looks like there are 4 that are clustered together in one area. And because of that incredible roll, the brain activity would tell you that they are likely sleeping. So there are likely 4 that are sleeping within the facility. There are 6 others at various points who seem to be at a resting kind of level of neural activity. They're likely engaged in some kind of pastime, something that's not too demanding. And then there are the 2 who are outside who seem exceedingly bored. They are not... You know, the neural activity is not consistent with someone who's on high alert or someone who is, you know, having a lot of adrenaline or expecting trouble. They are very, very much at rest, in the same, almost lower than what the ones who are at rest inside. And then there is one final one, and with that good of a roll, you would know the person seems to be, they are likely in stasis. Because it's minimal brain activities, but not in a... There are not any of the indicators that would suggest injury or trauma, but you could be wrong. It's a 500-meter range, and, you know, those... It's one specific reading for one specific imaging piece of equipment, so it's tough to draw significant conclusions or certain conclusions just based on that.
So it doesn't give you you can't correlate this with a map of the facility.
Yeah,
right?
you can because of the distances for things. There's you could tell where there's 4 that are clustered together in one part closer to the back. There's the one who is sedated is fairly close to there. There's 6 of them who seem to be clustered, 4 in one room, 2 in another, and then there's the 2 right at the front. The facility itself, for the size, most of it is empty.
Empty. Is there an other than going from the front, then is there an alternative way in, like a back door?
Why
Or
don't
could we go to the back, climb up, and because he said it's mostly empty,
Yeah.
and kind of
Yeah.
break
Doctor-
our way in as
so,
opposed to
Alonzo,
fighting our way in?
why don't you give us an investigate roll? Let's see. We'll
Oh, yeah,
kind of
good.
flash back and let's see how much information you were able to pull up about this place. Oh, that was with a boon, though.
Oh, whoops.
Yep.
I still had that thing checked. Sorry. So, here, I'll roll it properly. No.
Oh, better.
Yep, you've got a layout for what it was before. So, yeah, I mean, for these kind of places, they are designed with a degree of safety in mind as well, too. So there are at least 2 other exits from this. One of which is located around the back. The structure you can't see, it isn't built directly into the cliff face. It is built to be separate from it. It's the kind of prefab thing that Judico would set up on a bunch of different facilities. Judico, we're everywhere.
Well, I'd say we don't go through the front because that'll cost too much attention, especially with that village out there. But if we could go in through the back, break in, and then take the cargo and skedaddle. But I guess, Doctor, I don't know. We probably can't take it I don't foresee us taking it in the stasis container. So you're gonna have to wake her up.
Ooh, I wonder how long that takes.
Yeah.
I guess I know it's a medical roll when you're taking.
I should have landed on the cliff. All right. Down the extract.
There will definitely be an opportunity in future for you to do stuff like that. Here we go. And it's world creation. Passengers, here we go. Oh, look at the spaceship operations chapter. Oh, we're playing the game of the shell game references. Look at this page for this thing. Oh, on this page, look at this page. This game doesn't do that very often, but...
The one that's the most notorious in my recollection is Infinity, the Infinity rulebook.
Oh,
my gosh,
really?
You go in circles.
Oh, the Pathfinder 2 and... No, not Pathfinder 2. The 5th edition player's guide. It does that fucking thing where you'll look up one thing and it'll say C, and then it gives you the name of what you should look up in the index. It's like, just put the fucking page number.
Page number, yeah.
Yeah.
The Warhammer book does that a little bit too.
Oh, jeez.
Especially with conditions and,
Okay, jump travel, missed jumps. Passengers, here we go. 1d10 times 10 minutes. 1d6 times 10 minutes is the time to wake up passengers.
Wow. But you could. That's at an 8, right? So you could try to make it faster, but
Yeah. I think it's actually a 6 too. I thought I saw that it was a 6, so it's actually because
it's
it's such
routine.
yeah.
It does say if the check fails, the passenger does not survive. So
that's yeah.
Yeah, so probably flash cooking them isn't a good idea.
All right. So how big are these things then?
The actual canisters.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like an elaborate coffin. I'm picturing it being something like the Spock's coffin from the.
Okay.
I imagine that's probably the size of it, but they are designed to be transportable, not across the desert, mind. But
yeah, I wonder if we're gonna have to get the area secure as best we can, and then have the aircraft fly in and get out. Yeah, I don't know.
So you guys have the 3 of you. I mean, you're all in contact over comms anyway. Right. Do you have any other questions about what you're seeing here or the activity here?
And you see any vehicles, any air rafts, flyers?
Oh, yeah.
Anything that could give pursuit if we were to fly in and fly out?
They are a nomadic people, although a lot of it is one of those animals, right? There's that like rhino type thing, and there's that like camel ram thing that
Cool.
people have. So there's that, but there will also be, the post-apocalyptic, tricked out, grav bikes and whatnot. So there is definitely a chance, although it'll be. It is a small grouping, like this is a smaller clan, and the number is likely to be, for what you can see, you're looking at least 3, possibly more. Mm-hmm. But also it depends on what the state of repair is. There's not guaranteed that these things are, my son is a gearhead, so I know that just because you have a car and it's all tricked out does not mean it's functional. It may be down for maintenance.
Well, I mean, it's like the whole village isn't likely to pursue us, but the 13 people might, 4 of whom are possibly asleep, and 6 on station, and then the 2 guards. But the guards might, I don't know.
Dr. Ilias is certain that 4 of them are definitely asleep, 6 of them are at rest, and 2 of them are on watch. 2 of them are on watch at the front, and that the hostage is seemingly stored in a different room, not far off from where the people are sleeping.
No. Well, let's look for the closest entrance to there. I would say break in, sneak in, grab the coffin, get it out, and then have the air raft meet us.
Yeah.
To pick it up.
And I can sort of get in their way.
Yeah.
And create a distraction.
Right.
Maybe
Dr. Ilias and Alonzo would be responsible for grabbing the cargo and moving with it, while Dane and Anchor, lay down some suppressive fire if necessary. It might not be necessary. As much as we like to think we blow things up, it seems like we're not so good at blowing things up.
But there's a community of mostly what I would deem civilians, so I would very much hope that it would not come to that. We're here to save lives, not endanger them.
Well,
but we want to defend our cargo and defend ourselves. I mean, I'm not talking about the community. We're not going to lay waste to the
Tila will weigh in with that. Those in the facility,
right?
They are no better than slavers.
There you go.
All right.
Your compassion for the community, Dr. Ilias, is commendable. Those within, you owe them none of that.
Yep. And then I guess we have Captain Ghani and Tila Toro flying on the air raft and or grav bike. Assuming Tila Toro can fly or pilot.
I think he can. See, I mean, he is a prince, so.
Yep.
Yeah, he's good. Oh, he is more used to wheeled vehicles. Another reason I love the fucking Aslan, they effectively have space jeeps.
Yeah.
They're fantastic.
Okay.
So he can fudge through it, but there is also an autopilot function on all of these things. So, unless you're trying to do some particularly fancy flying, he can get in there. So what is everyone's role going to be then for this? Who is going to hack the door or bust open the door?
What would that be?
I think it's electronics.
Electronics. I got sensors and comms. I mean, I have electronics base, but
yeah. I have comms, computers, and sensors.
Oh, computers. Would it be computers, you think?
I think so. I'm trying to think. Let's see if something else is listed. It's not mechanic.
If it's a mechanical door, I have mechanic.
Yeah, it depends on what it is, too. I mean, it's a several century old device that's been exposed to the Hilfer environment for quite some time. And if it is a back entrance, it's unlikely people have been regularly using it. So there may very well be a need for some physical.
Well, I got mechanic, and if Alonzo has electronics covered, I think we could be good.
Yeah,
either way.
I think that's probably it. I don't see another skill that stands out as being the likely one to use here. You guys?
Explosives?
Most definitely.
We had those like cute little pop explosives that sound like, firecrackers.
I'm looking for the skill intrusion, but I think I'm about 2 editions behind or something.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing too. I was like, I'm sure I saw intrusion at some point, but I don't think.
I'd look up Streetwise. I don't know if Streetwise would be.
Oh, let's see here.
Yeah, they don't have like a. I'm looking for
Finding a dealer, evading a police search.
No.
Well, one of the things is these are not discrete categories, right? Like these are intended to be a little more loosey-goosey. So I think Streetwise would know, like, if it comes to jimmying a lock, if it needs a physical thing, I think mechanics or Streetwise could be used. If it's functioning, then electronics of some variety. I imagine it'll be, of the ones that list here, comms, sensors, computers, and remote ops. I think computers is probably the likely one.
Okay. All right,
So-
let's get back there. So do you need to stealth again, you think?
Well, you guys are all going to head back. I want to know what the actual plan is and what everyone is specifically doing, so then we can figure out how this is going to play out.
So we want to get to the door that's closest to the objective, break in either electronically or mechanically, get in, get the cargo, get out, hopefully without any conflict. If there's conflict, then Dr. Ilias and Alonso are going to be responsible for moving the cargo as quickly as possible out of the facility, at which point I think Gani and Tulatorel will fly in, either specifically just to pick up the cargo, but maybe to help Dane and Anchor with suppressive fire if necessary. If it goes smoothly, we won't need any of that. We'll be in and out, and they'll still be asleep or resting. But
let me ask you, is there a reason to bring the grab bike along?
Not really.
It's cool.
If we can all fit in the air, and if we can all fit in the air raft, there's no reason for the grab bike to come. Because now we're gonna have to leave it, right?
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like, if because Tilo cannot, he's not skilled in operating them. He could, at a very basic way, bring it in, but you can't. If both of them are operating a vehicle, there's not really any opportunity for covering fire.
Yeah, I'd rather have one operate and one cover fire, right?
Okay.
And Gani's probably the flyer, right? He's got grav.
He does have training in flying. Captain Gani, what's your pitch for why the grab bike should be brought along?
Oh, there's none.
No.
Okay.
But guys,
So
look at it. Look at it. There's a stripe on the side.
If we could pilot it remotely, then we can make it be a distraction. But I don't think it's necessary. Could have been left on the ship, really. If we could all fit in the air raft.
What do you think, Captain?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's no need for the bike.
Okay. So then you have Captain Gani and Tila Toro going to come in once the word is given. Anyone else have any thoughts on this plan?
Yeah, I mean, once the air raft comes in, unless you pilot it stealthily, I mean, that's when they're going to know. But
Dane,
we'll
Alonso?
probably try to move
I'm
this.
also undertaking some advanced and speculative reconnaissance in the facility while the main target is being extracted.
Yeah, if we don't shake the Hornets.
Comes back with that stone cold killer look on his face. Did you find anyone? Nope.
No.
I mean, sure, that's up to you, but we don't need to.
Okay.
Why shake the hornet's nest?
Because they're hornets.
The stasis pod, could we try and move it a short distance over the ground so that we don't have to fly in and stir up the community? Could we try and get it out
You could, but I mean,
stealthily along the rock face?
it's effectively trying to carry either physically carry it or use whatever they use to transport it, which is likely, carrying it.
Okay.
It's not like, a carbon... What is it? Carbon freezing.
It doesn't float
thing where it
along
hovers on its own. Yeah, and you can easily move it around. Would be great if you could do that. And maybe the bounty hunters have that to transport with just the two of them. But Yeah, there's a chance that might be in there. Because if the two of them were going to be moving around this thing too, there may be a little like hover skiff to try and take the weight for them.
I wonder if they're here.
Yeah.
Huh.
Did not detected 13 life signs. There was no. Oh, does it tell you which species?
No, just comparable levels of intelligence. Or something. Yeah, so I guess it would tell you if they're like fully sentient or animal, but it doesn't give. It
Unless
doesn't
someone wants to
differentiate by species.
insert a really mean joke about Vargr or human intelligence.
Oh, Vargrs are much superior in intellect to humans.
As far as you can tell, there are. It's uncertain whether there is any Vargr in there as well too, like his partner.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if there were a droid in there, we could tell because that'd be very different. But
yeah,
or weird species like hybrid, be like really probably distinct.
Or the whatever species that the intercessor is.
Yeah, the intercessor. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, what are you guys doing?
I mean, and the last contingency is if like we're really in a bad spot and we're in a firefight, then we call up Ultima 1.
Come in, guns blazing on the ship. Oh wait, there's no guns on the ship.
Yeah, but I mean, if he lands like between us and them, like they can't do anything to the ship. Right?
Well, it's also like honestly the second pilot for Serenity, right? We'll blow a hole in this moon. Oh, you stupid people don't even know a traitor doesn't have any guns on it.
Yeah.
So then, why don't we'll treat this as a task chain? I think because that'll be fun. So who's going to make the final stealth roll between Dane, Dr. Ilias, Alonso, and Anchor?
So either Alonso or Dane, let's have them do the stealth.
The final one? Okay.
Yeah.
You want me to do it again?
Well, no. It's gonna be a
You'll
task
be electronicking.
chain. Yeah, we'll see how everyone contributes towards this. It may cascade towards a big bonus for you, but let's start with who wants to make the first roll. Then Anchor, I think, is not trained in stealth, right?
Yeah,
And
I'll say Dane's taking the lead, just in case, right?
I'll do it. So stealth check, no modifier.
Okay, hold on. If you're making the stealth check with the are you not trained in stealth, Dane?
I'm trained in stealth.
Okay, so then, because you're acting earlier in the chain, what that's going to do is provide bonuses for the next person. The last person is going to be the outcome of the stealth.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if you want to save your best roll for that or not. A 7, so this will be an 8. That's a failed with -1, which means it'll be -1 to the next roll unless you wish to spend luck.
Oh, we don't want minuses, so a point of luck. Would that save the minus?
I'm on page 63 of the core book, the 2022 update. If anyone is looking,
yeah, I'm struggling with tech today.
Okay. So plus
one point of luck.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So that'll be +1 for the next roll. Who wants to roll next?
Are we doing? Is it still stealth or what?
Still stealth, yeah.
But Ilias has no training in stealth, so
Yeah,
we'll have to
neither
take
does
Dane's guidance.
Alonso.
So either of you give us a dex check at -3, please.
Anka, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. But we have a +1, so it's a net of -2. Okay. Nice.
Nice. So
Very nice.
So you're still at +1. You're at +1.
Oh yeah,
Dr.
+1
Ilias.
is +2. Correct. Yeah. Yes, that is right. Excellent. That is +1 to Dr. Ilias's check.
-3 for not being trained.
So -2 net.
Yeah.
We have no, not bad.
You want to spend 2 luck? Otherwise, that will. Yeah. Okay. So then, Alonso, this will be the one for all the marbles. No boon at +1.
All right, here we go. Come on, roll 20. Let's not die today.
Yes.
So that's pretty good.
What you guys find is because there's as much activity or lethargy as you would expect. One of the benefits of having come in the middle of the day, a lot of people are sitting inside. Like, unless you have a reason to be outside, there's no reason to be out in the sun. So you 4 are very easily able to make your way along kind of the cliff face back around to the rear entrance of the facility. As you get in closer, what appeared to be like a relatively intact structure, it's becoming clear as you get in closer, like this place is suffering from a lot of neglect.
I can see the cracks from a distance, so now it's probably more apparent. Right?
Yeah, definitely. And there's also, there does not appear to be a lot of power in much of the facility, too. So there's probably a reason why some of these people are not staying inside there as opposed to their own places, because, you know, carrying lights around and whatnot, and Helfer, like a lot of desert planets, just gets cold at night, and this place doesn't really warm up all that much, so it's cold and dark and unpleasant to be in, unless you absolutely have to be. As you make your way towards the back, Anchor, I think, is the one who is keeping watch for it. There does appear to be some, what do you call it? There are, like, cameras set up out here, but your guess is that there is no power to them, because there doesn't appear to be power to any other part of the facility. It's likely something that was built in beforehand. Captain Ganny, not to leave you out of the situation here, would you give us another D6 roll, please? As you guys approach what is the emergency exit, or one of the emergency exits from this place, you can see, thankfully, while there is no power, the door and the locking mechanism is still intact. So, a couple of ways you could deal with this. If you could use... Now, mechanics is to repair stuff, right? So you could
use mechanics to open the door as well if it's a mechanical, if it's a largely a mechanical process.
There is a mechanical process in it, so there's two ways you could do it. One is to try and physically like tear apart the stuff and unlock the lock itself. Another way is to use mechanics to restore power, like feed power from some power cell or something like that into it, just so you can then override the locking mechanism. These kind of places, the level of security is going to be quite low. This is not like designed to be a... it's got some security in it, but it's got the level of security you'd expect from like a commercial shop. You're not trying to hold out, you know, for sieges or things like that.
Yeah, I think it's probably quieter to try to get it powered and then open it instead of trying to cut through it or whatever, right? So... Because the other way to pull it apart and physically open it, you take some noise or create clanging and stuff.
Yeah, it'd also be forcing a mechanism in all likelihood. Yeah. So you're not wrong about that, Anchor. So who would like to give us a mechanics roll?
I'll do the mechanics as we get up to it.
Okay. I think this is going to be a relatively simple thing. It'll be a 6. Yeah, no problem, Anchor. Yeah. So not only do you do it, you're mindful of keeping everything down. Because you are using the power approach, it will then be a computer's check to override this. Again, this is going to be a 6.
I call up Alonzo. You know, we're all being quiet. Call up Alonzo.
Okay.
Using hand signals.
Computers.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay. So you head on over, and between the two of you, you move some work, and then there's dust that comes down. There's a little bit of a sound, but not nearly as much as if you were forcing the mechanism. The blackened interior of this structure lies before you.
All right. Dane's going to take the lead here, just in case.
Okay. Captain Ganny, would you give us another D6 roll, please? So tell us a bit about if you're taking the lead here, Dane, what is the sort of the parameters for conducting this search? How do you go about this? Do you keep everyone at back? Do you are you walk to the end of the corridor, then wave everyone forward?
Yeah, I think I'll probably take a sort of scout lead on this. What is it? Dark?
Totally dark. Yeah.
Okay, so it's just suit lights.
Everyone activates their suit lights. What you can tell is that the where you're entering from the back is closest to where those 4 are sleeping and where the prisoner or the captive is being held. Not a prisoner.
Perfect. So I suppose zero in on that location.
Okay. To the where the kidnapped person is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So you head on down to that, and as you reach there, what you find is that it does seem like there are generators that have been jury-rigged for certain parts of this. So you can find that there is power to this door, or no, the door would be left open, I guess. That's probably the easiest thing rather than having it powered. As you go in, you can kind of, Dr. Ilias, having spent your entire career, or your adult life at least, in medical facilities of high-tech natures, you can hear you recognize the distinctive hum of medical technology in operation before you really get there. And Dane, what you find is there is effectively like a fairly high-tech looking sarcophagus that is holding this person in place, a transporting thing. It seems to be also attached to a hover skiff that it would be designed to move this thing.
Right.
So it's, as you guys thought, you should be able to move this thing, bounty hunter style, in Empire Strikes Back. Doesn't appear to be, so I guess first off, Dane, there doesn't appear to be anyone in here. There's no one keeping watch. It doesn't seem like there's any surveillance in here that you can tell.
Okay.
Okay.
In which case, can we get, do I think, from where we are now, can we get this back out the way we've come?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
The challenge will be just passing, you would have to be unlucky to see a looky-loo come out around the, from the community to see you exfiltrating with this. I will tell you, getting out, now that you've got the lay of the land, it'll be a difficulty 6 for the task chain instead of the difficulty 8 from before.
All right. The 4 that are currently still alive and asleep.
Yeah.
Whereabouts are they in relation to where we are now?
You could certainly reach there within minutes, not even minutes. It's a one facility. You could easily navigate your way there.
All right. Okay. Well, I think we should. Can we, Doctor? Can we move her now? Is she in there? Is it?
Yeah. Cornelius will go up and check the readout. I assume it has the vitals readout. Yep. And also, does it have the classic frosted window so you can look inside?
I think so, yeah. I think it's mandatory in this kind of thing.
Yeah, just make sure. Oh, damn it, we got
I think Cornelius will also look inside to see what's
It's
inside.
actually the intercessor looking out from within there. What is going on?
Oh, no.
All right, Mattis, that's a little too much in the random encounters. What I really should is at one point run a campaign where I indulge all of my worst tendencies of like, throw out everything, we're doing something new. I can't imagine that'll last very long. Although I can guarantee it would be Savage Worlds I'd use for it. What you can see is that there is it looks like one of the Hilfer natives, a girl likely between 12 and 14 years old.
Okay.
Give us a medic check at a difficulty of 6, please. That's not a crit fail, is it?
No.
It's 2 1s. I don't know if that counts as a crit fail.
Okay.
Is there such a thing as a crit fail?
There isn't a crit fail. We're using an optional set of things for it for fun.
Okay.
Fun, yeah.
Yeah, it's not a matter of like, hey, is this button important? So, here's what you see: is that not only you're looking at this, Doctor, and it's definitely the girl. She is stable, but she is in kind of a like. She suffered some kind of injury that is being held off as kind of a like if you unfreeze her or unthaw her, she's going to need a medic quite... without, looking further into this, something must have gone wrong during the extraction or whatnot, because she is suffering from some kind of injury that is going to need, like, immediate medical attention when she is taken out of here.
There will be some swearing
called out
from
of here,
Elias as he realizes this. Fuck.
We can move her, but we can't
You can
Right.
move her.
As soon as she's unfrozen, we have to.
Someone's going
save
to
her
need to do
life.
some serious surgical work here.
You should
Well, ideally
document this.
unfreeze her on the ship or at the doctor's facility back in the town where we were. Anywhere else is inviting.
Dr. Goodman's facility is probably not the one. Your ship is most definitely better equipped than what...
Ideally our ship, which is
We
also
should
nearer.
we should document this because if they injured her as well as kidnapped her, that's
It's tough to tell. So that something has gone wrong here. Why don't you give us another medic roll just to diagnose? This one will be I think it'll be a TN10 only because it would be normally an 8 to diagnose. It's a little more difficult just because you're trying to gauge it without other scans. Do you have your backpack with you still?
I have my medikit with me.
Okay, so let's make it a TN8 if you're going to take a moment.
Okay.
While this is going on, this is going to take about 1d6 times 10 minutes. So, Dane, you will have an opportunity to step out and do whatever you choose to do here. Yeah. So,
Anchor is like, what the watch? Let's go.
Come on. So you're checking this thing. She is safe to move. You most definitely do not want there to be a power failure here. So you want to make sure that this thing does not suffer any issues. It looks as if it is a gunshot wound, a projectile gunshot.
Oh.
Yeah. So someone seems to have shot her, and with the roll that good, it looks like it's from the front. So someone shot her in the chest from the front at some point shortly before putting her in here. If it was something like a high-tech projectile, like a Gauss rifle or a mag rail, like there'd be a fucking hole where her chest was. This is a more primitive weapon that was used, so you can determine that how you wish. Or who likely the person is. While Dr. Elias is inspecting this stuff, Alonzo and Anchor are, I think, saying in their... Dane, you were asking about the other facility. You most definitely can find it where they're sleeping.
Okay.
This will be a stealth at... I think it'll be a stealth at 6, please.
Okay.
I'm trying to decide if it... So it'll be
That's a normal roll.
Dex -3, and then you can spend luck afterwards if you choose. No problem, though. Like you need that at all. Oh, yeah, you're trained in stealth, aren't you? Fuck, I forgot. Yeah. So, kindly, would you want to tell us what he does, or do we just want to... So we see him head in, and we see him head out, replacing the knife back in his sheath? Or is there still more work to be done?
I've cleared the way.
Okay. So that takes you about as long as it does for Dr. Elias to conduct his medical scans. Alonzo and Anchor, is there anything you guys wish to do while you're...
I am very nervously standing by the doctor.
I'm gonna let Gani and Territorial know we have eyes on the prize. Dr. Ilias is making sure it is safe to transport, and be ready.
Okay. So then let's I won't torture James with further D6 rolls. Things have already been made difficult enough.
Very tense. Yeah.
Why don't we do a final stealth skill chain? Unless there is anything else you wish to do in this facility, we'll do a stealth task chain to get yourself out of here. The difficulty is going to be 6 now. Who would like to go first? Who would like to go last?
I'll happily go first.
Okay.
Having no training in stealth. -3.
Nice.
So that's +1 to the next roll. Who wants to go next?
So logically, we would say Dr. Ilias and then Alonzo because they have
they're the ones who are transporting. Yeah.
Carding.
Yeah.
And then
Yep. Alonzo, so you do have
+1.
+1.
+1.
Nice.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
+3 to anchors.
Stealth. So that's
So yeah, so no +1 net to your dex.
Yeah. Okay, so dex check +1.
Come on, big money.
Oh no.
Did you wait? Did you put
doesn't make sense.
you put the plus sign in? Remember, you can't put a plus sign in.
Oh, yeah.
You
So
You broke the universe.
it's an 11.
Yeah.
It's an 11. So if we look at the
So that'd be a 12 actually.
I was like,
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it'd be a 12.
Oh,
so that
12.
means
Oh.
+3 to Dane's roll.
Eesh, pressure. +3
I
to
was like,
stealth,
whoa.
yeah?
Here,
Yeah,
I
if you
need
include
to
the
do
plus sign in. I don't know what their coding is. If you include plus sign in, it just everything fucks up in
break the
every
world.
sheet. Yeah, everything collapses in. And
Nice.
saw that red again.
I know.
So, guys, why don't you tell us what we see as you exfil from the back of that thing and make your way back to the grav car?
Yeah, I think Anchor will, like, under his breath say, I don't know what you did, Dane, but I'm glad it was quiet.
Me too.
And we're just, I mean, like, I think Anchor and Dane are probably bringing up the rear, making sure there's no response.
Yeah.
And I guess Dr. Ilias and Alonzo pushed it out of the facility, and we're making our way as quickly and as quietly, inconspicuously as possible across that rocky landscape.
Okay.
Yeah, Dr. Illis really focus on the readouts and making sure, like, if there's like a bomb or way, you have like to go down a ramp or stairs and sort of nervously check the readouts to make sure it's all still
Yeah.
as frozen and has power and it's all in the green.
Excellent. Alonso?
I think that he is a little disappointed there wasn't a gunfight. He's like, I can still write one into the
But Dane,
retelling.
I'm sure Dane will fill in the details for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Dane, you were holding up the rear here, it sounds like.
Yeah, I'll keep a low profile. Keep the Gauss rifle sights sort of trained on the sort of target facility, and sort of gradually work back, continually sort of scanning for any possible pursuers.
Okay.
And if we can make it to our, like, 500, if we can make it all the way there to the air raft, let's try to do it.
You
instead of
definitely
calling him
do. Yep, because
Okay.
like, he beat it by 3. So
Nice.
the benefit you've got, again, like time of day, I guess, and the amount of things that would be obstructing, like tents and vehicles and whatnot, and the rocky formations itself. There's so many things to hide behind, and you guys had sort of mapped out the way to go going in. You're able to reach back. It's a tense 10-minute, kind of quiet walk. But as you come in, you find Captain Gani and Tila Toro ready to help load the things on, and I think we end our session with you guys firing up the grav car and interchangeably the air raft.
I wish we had a grav car. One of those Empress Grav APCs would be quite nice.
And making your way back to the Rift Wanderer. So,
Nice.
Any last things? Captain Gani, you've had a very low-key session today. Anything you wish to end with? Any
No, I
thoughts?
guess I'll make sure I pick up the grab bike as we head off as well.
Yeah.
So I'll take that home.
Captain Gani accidentally leans on the horn. Oh, Jesus, I'm sorry. So then, guys, you have successfully rescued Ganzarig's youngest daughter, the jewel of Ganzarig's eye. And that brings us to the end of session 19. So then, for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for our most recent session of the Borderland Run campaign. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the game, the campaign, or the adventure we're playing, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I'll endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. I mentioned this, I think, on stream, but I also share any comments for the players. I share with them as well, too. They have better things to do than to diligently hit refresh on the comment section of our videos, so that is my way of translating that along to them. So thank you very much for the kind words that folks have said in recent months about this stuff. All the players have heard all of those very kind things that they've said. I agree, they are all outstanding role players. It's really interesting characters that have been brought to the crew here. There's also a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server where all of us are active, and we have a channel. Do we have a channel for this campaign?
Yes.
Yes, we do. We have a channel. Oh, yeah, of course we do. Of course we do. There's a channel there for the Borderland Run campaign, as well as every other campaign, most other campaigns we run on the channel, as well as a bunch of other channels for games and other games, for other games we've run, other campaigns we run, as well as things like finding a group or GM discussion in general, video game discussion. Lots of great people over there. It's been a really great community that's built up over the years, and you are more than welcome to join us over there. There's also a link down below to our friends at Noble Knight Games. Noble Knight Games is the preeminent unionized retailer of hard-to-find and out-of-print role-playing games in North America. They also have a great selection of new role-playing games, board games, and card games. But their unmatched selection of role-playing games is really the reason that they are known. If they do not have something in stock in their extensive catalog that you are looking for, you can put it on a want list, and they'll send you an email when it comes in. And if you make a purchase of $10 or more through their website, be sure to enter the code MUSERWINTER, all caps, all one word, and you will save yourself 10% on your purchase. That will change around mid-April 2024. So if you're listening to this video at a later date, come back to one of our more recent videos and you'll get what the current discount code is then. There's also a link down below to something called Heroes Save Villages. That is the charity fundraising campaign we run on the channel. It benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, a really amazing organization active in over 130 countries, benefiting over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children. There are a ton of areas that they are active in right now, and you can learn all about that by following that link down below. And if you make a donation through that link, none of it goes to the channel or any other middleman. It just goes to help out the charity with their activities. We'll be posting information on the Charity Initiatives channel about how we're thanking our donors this year, because we've got a bunch of charity games set up, the first of which will be next weekend, playing Kevin Crawford's awesome Godbound role-playing game. But I'll be sharing that information on the Charity Initiatives channel on the Dungeon Musings Discord server. The last thing I will say is a huge thank you to our stalwart travelers. So, James, Graham, David, Jeffrey, and Carl, thank you so much for joining me today, guys. This has been it's been a really fun session, and I think a really great exemplar of what's so much fun about running this game. We had talked before about on the Discord server about like what's special about Traveler, and like this kind of session I think is a real good example of just, you know, how fun the player-driven play is in this stuff. Had you guys not picked up on that that random encounter about you guys running into bounty hunters who want help, none of this stuff would have happened. So really, really fun stuff. So then we'll be back on Hilfer in 2 weeks' time. But until then, we hope that we gave you a couple of hours to take your mind off the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our heroes are trying to thwart a breakdown of political order in on Hilfer. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.